you play Hello Kitty Island Adventure on Nintendo Switch or on Steam? We know that we just got Content Update 1 on Steam, and it's coming to Switch on May 22nd. But how is this gonna work going forward? Especially with Apple Arcade getting updates all the time, and you've probably been wondering about City Town and when that may come to Switch and Steam. Well, today Sunblink added a new section to the frequently asked questions in the Discord, and it's all about updates and how they work. They say it's in response to folks wanting more transparency, and they say that there are many contractual factors at play, and they appreciate folks' understanding, so we know they don't have total control over when things roll out. They say that they have a standard content cadence. On Apple Arcade, this is about every 6 weeks. This is what we've been experiencing since launch. Those are 2.5 or 2.6. Sometimes that varies. We know we've had some come as soon as 5 weeks, some more on 7, but typically we're around that 6-week mark. We know that the first version of content that we see on Apple Arcade may change later, but those major updates come about every 6 weeks. Outside of Apple Arcade, we know that there's factors like QA timelines, platform approval processes, audience quality expectations, and because of things like that, updates are going to take longer to get to Switch and Steam, and so rather than having a ton of tiny, frequent updates like we do on Apple Arcade, updates are bundled together into Content Update 1, Content Update 2, and we've known that from before it launched on Switch and Steam. They were really good about letting us know that updates would be bundled on Switch and Steam, so we would have fewer, bigger updates, and that it would not be on the Apple Arcade update schedule. The new information here is that they want to have Switch and Steam follow Apple Arcade by about 1 to 3 updates. That means about 6 to 18 weeks, and that would be the standard cadence for Switch and Steam. Now the part that disappoints me, of course, is they say that Switch and Steam will likely be offset by about 2 weeks. And what this means is that we'll probably be seeing PC updates, those updates for Steam, and then 2 weeks later or so, we'll get that update on Switch. That is probably my least favorite part of this. I'd much rather have them all at the same time. At least from a content standpoint, it makes it way easier if everything launches at the same time, especially since I've been streaming it on Switch, and my Steam save is still really early in the game. And then they also say promotional opportunities may affect that target, because as a small business, it's critical for them to have flexibility to respond to marketing opportunities. And that makes sense if there's some sort of marketing opportunity, if they launched at a certain time, held an update till a certain time, maybe a shadow drop after a Nintendo Direct, who knows? Makes perfect sense that there'll be some flexibility with that timeline. And then they go on to talk about expansions. They say for large expansions to the game, for example, City Town, it's much more important that they hit a high quality bar and a feeling of completeness. They say when they originally launched the game on Steam and Switch, the core game experience was considered complete. You essentially reached a credits moment, that key moment in the main story, and they want to make sure that all expansions have a similar feeling of completeness before they release them on Steam and Switch. Therefore, timelines may be drastically different between platforms. I'm hoping that the drastic difference they're talking about is just Apple Arcade versus Steam and Switch. That would be exactly in line with what we've been told since before the game launched on Steam and Switch. They do say that these will be their own releases, separate from those standard content updates, and they say they'll try to do their best to release Switch and PC as close together as possible, if not simultaneously. I really hope that these end up launched simultaneously, especially because so much content is a day-to-day progression, and new things like that are so fun to experience as a larger community. They do say their intent is still to have all content on all platforms eventually. And then they say they know that the next question is, well, when is the next update? And they actually give us some estimates. For City Town, they say they are unable to announce anything right now. That is no change. They'll let us know something when they can, and being somebody who plays on Apple Arcade, as far as I understand it, City Town is only the first biome on that island, and it's still not complete, although who knows what they're gonna do with it, if they're gonna wait for the entire island, or just build out City Town a little bit more and have that be its own thing. We don't even know right now. Content Update 1 we already know is on Steam now, and is coming to Switch May 22nd. And then after that, they give us estimated dates, meaning these are not definitive dates. These may change. This is just their best guess right now. And we know that there's so many factors that could change these. All sorts of things could happen in between, but here are the timelines they're thinking about right now. Content update 2 for Steam and Switch, June 2025. June, that means May 22nd, Switch is getting content update 1, May, and then the very next month, we could be seeing content update 2. And seeing as there's only a few things right now that are on Apple Arcade, that are not on Steam and Switch, and that are not City Town, that makes it feel like update 2.6 for Apple Arcade has gotta be pretty big. Because what else are you gonna put in content update 2? We have Bestie Collection, we have Pom Pom's Bestie Quest, and we have Puko, One Visitor. But how much more do we really have on Apple Arcade right now that you don't see on Steam and Switch? That's not City Town, not very much. So I feel like maybe that's gonna go through 2.6. It has been feeling like 2.6 could be one of our bigger updates. I know we have a ton of speculation around it. So that's what this date is making me think about. And then content update 3, Fall 2025, content update 4, Winter 2025-2026. That makes it feel like maybe they were thinking of these as quarterly updates, but those are the estimates right now. Remember, those could change. I wouldn't be surprised if we don't see content update 2 until later in the summer, but right now they're hoping to get it out in June. So content update 1, on Steam now, coming to Switch May 22nd. Content update 2 for Switch and Steam, June 2025. At least that's the estimate right now. So it's pretty exciting to have this information to understand how this process is expected to work. Most of it seems very in line with everything that's been told to us since before it launched officially on Steam and Switch. And it's kind of nice to have these estimates of when we may expect additional content coming to Steam and Switch. Subscribe for more Hello Kitty Island Adventure content and turn on notifications to find out the next time we go live. Hope to see you there.